If you are looking for the villainess of an Otome game genre, let me just say that this is not the story for you. And there are plenty more out there that do it in a much better and more interesting way. This could have been an interesting story if it was executed properly, but I think even before the clear axing that it got, it was struggling to maintain a solid direction and plot. Lasting only 22 chapters or 4 volumes, 108 Villainous Deaths, as I will now call it, is the story of the villainess, hold on a second, Scarlet Ruby Noel Hydrangea? Is that really her name? Who has died 108 times. I will now read the official summary. Born the daughter of a duke, she later seized the throne of the Hydrangea Kingdom and imposed a reign of absolute terror upon its citizens. However, she always met a brutal end at the hands of the 5 heroes destined to take her down. On her 109th loop, she regains the memories of her previous lives. Scarlet decides to use this knowledge to escape this cycle of disaster. But though she might have all the memories and knowledge of her previous lives, for now Scarlet is stuck as an infant. If she's to survive, Scarlet must depend on her former foes to aid her, the same heroes who killed her before. Okay, first, despite that it is in the title, the fact that the main character has died specifically 108 times becomes inconsequential pretty quickly. She never mentions individual lives or deaths, other than as passing mentions, nor does she have any specific lessons learned that help her overcome a future trial. The 100 in lives feel more like a statistic on an Excel spreadsheet where she can say, oh, this character killed me X number of times in the past, as a way of a kind of introduction. Other than title novelty, this could honestly have been reduced to 10, 15 deaths and achieved the same outcome. In a truly questionable choice, the main character spends basically 95% of the plot as a literal newborn. Having your main character as a baby does allow for some humor, but it stretches credibility as other characters start having to interact and build relationships with an infant who can't talk. It's also hard to get a true sense of your main character when it really has no agency in its movement or actions. It's small wonder why you don't see other series with a baby as a main character. Certainly not as a baby for a main character through the majority of its runtime. The issue is exacerbated by the fact that the series does not have a time skip until basically the last chapter. As for the other characters, of the 5 heroes, or capture targets, I use this term only as a framing device because they remain children throughout everything we see, we really only spend time with 2. The main hero's purpose in the series is as a baby translator, because he is the only one who can truly understand what the main character is thinking. The other main hero that we really spend any time with only shows up in the last few chapters as a plot device to save the day. As for the other 3, one seems to be relegated to being the villain's sidekick, an idea that's never fully explored before the manga ends, and one literally falls out of the sky onto the main character in the last chapter. The other is never actually introduced. I don't know who he is. We never find out who he is. Doesn't matter. Obviously, part of this issue is the result of the series being canceled suddenly. Sudden cancellations would lead any story to feel rushed or abrupt, but not even introducing all 5 of characters who seemingly are important to the overall narrative is strange. As for the other series characters, their personalities seem to change at the drop of a hat as the author needs it for the story. The ensemble is forgettable at best, but also gives the reader whiplash as they drastically alter their personalities to fit what the author needs at any given moment. The antagonists of the series. It's hard to say what the goal was with this character, because after reading the series from start to finish, I still don't seem to know what her goal even was. She is also living all of these 108 lives and remembers all of them too. We never do figure out why either character is going through this experience. Not that there needs to be a reason, but it does seem like a high number of life cycles for there to be no ultimate payoff for the whole thing. From chapter to chapter, the antagonist seems to abruptly switch between psycho murder teen and helpful spiritual support guide. Her MO seems to be, to the best of my understanding, that she is grooming the main character to live a moderately happy life so that it is more fun to kill her later. Yeah, I've never heard of that either. I suppose you could get bored after 108 lifetimes, but these don't seem like the faces of a person that's bored to me. Unlike the main character, our antagonist does not stay as an infant for the series, but instead ages herself up immediately. Makes you wonder why the author didn't make the choice to have older characters from the start. I don't think it would have made much of a difference if the characters were even young children. They don't necessarily have to be teens, but the fact that your main character is a baby does hold yourself back quite a bit. All in all, this series is an example of a poorly executed story with lackluster characters and an extremely rushed conclusion. Oh, did I say conclusion? Yeah, there is none. It's as if the editors told the author right before the last chapter, yeah, your series is canceled right now. I don't really care if you wrap anything up or not, or if it makes sense. Just finish it in one chapter, whatever. The last chapter finally includes the time skip that the series desperately needed. It brings the series to a B in terms of important characters introduced and leaves no resolution to any part of the plot. We never learn why they go through the 108 cycles. We don't have any sort of major confrontation with the antagonist such that we finally, get an understanding, like a deeper understanding of her motivations or why she's going through all of this, what has sort of linked these two characters together. I feel bad for the author here. It's never easy to have your series be cut off before you could really get anything going, but ultimately it was the right decision given how this story was progressing. Let me know of any other series you'd like me to review. I do weekly reviews of manga. Please like this video and subscribe for more spoiler and non-spoiler reviews of manga. Thanks for listening.